everyone. Welcome to Game Dames vidcast. I'm Cindy, and today I'm looking at a new release. It is Sims Medieval by EA. So before I start, I'm just going to explain my expectations of what I had of Sims Medieval. In my mind, I was expecting the game to be basically Sims 3 in medieval times, in a medieval setting. So if you're not familiar with The Sims, basically it's a very open-ended sandbox type of game. You create your families or just your single sim, and you go through their lives until basically they die, and then you can play their kids or you can play another family or whatever. What's fantastic about The Sims 3 is it's got a story progression where people, while you're playing one family, the other families around are autonomous, and they will do whatever they want and all that, and continue their own stories, so to speak. It's not an actual story like you're used to in RPG gaming. It's just people living basically, and getting jobs and babies and all that. So in The Sims, like I said, you have death, you have birth, you have but you can play that game forever and ever and ever. In Sims 3, you do have quest type of goals, like lifetime wishes. Each sim has a wish, something that they want to achieve in their lifetime, and you basically have to do your best to reach that goal. And once you do, you get a whole bunch of points in which you can buy perks, and perks basically make your sim a better sim, more fun to play with different characteristics and all that. Like, for example, the steel bladder perk basically means you don't have to go pee so much, which can be quite handy depending on how you play. I like the does not need to sleep very much moodlet personally, but so that's how The Sims 3 works. It's got a lot of other things, but this is about Sims Medieval, so let's get back to that. In Sims Medieval, the idea was to bring questing to the forefront, and that's basically what they've done. Is the entire game is very structured. It is very, very quest driven. It's pretty much mostly gold oriented and very little of Sims in there. Basically, the only thing that's very Sims-like is basic needs, the need to eat, the need to sleep, that kind of thing. Let's get back a little bit to how the game starts. So the game, launches, and you get the intro movie, and then you get to name your kingdom. Fine, you don't get to choose. I was expecting to choose like different types of kingdoms or something like that, like or maybe just have one default one and then have expansions later on, a little bit like Riverview and Bridgeport and all that in the Sims game. But that's not how it works. Well, maybe it is, but you basically have this kingdom is very static. It's like a page, and it's all grayed out. And it's got little bubbles where your buildings go and your heroes reside in. I'll talk about what heroes on shortly here. So name a kingdom, and then you have a grid of ambitions. Your ambitions are basically chapters in your kingdom's life, I guess. The first chapter is New Beginnings, and it's got different goals. Like you have to build 13 buildings, I believe, and then there's different goals you need to achieve in order to complete that overarching ambition. So that's one part of questing. The second part is once you play that ambition, there's a quest for your heroes to accomplish, and that quest gives you points, and then those points go towards erecting new buildings. Some of these buildings will just make your kingdom a better place, or they will be a place to house a new hero. Now, a hero is basically your main characters. Like the first one you make is the monarch. The monarch, rules the kingdom. You have different duties to have every day. I think it's up to 2. Sometimes an extra one will pop up. In order to achieve your quest, you need something called focus. And if you perform your duties, then you get boost on your focus. And the more focused you are, the likelier your quest is to succeed. So, you know, which is great. That's what you want. Many times while you're doing a quest, there'll be a dialogue pop up, and there'll be two choices how to proceed with something that happens. So basically, let's say one time I was sailing, and there was a mermaid that appeared, and you had two choices whether to talk to the mermaid or capture the mermaid. So basically, the first option is usually the goody option, and then the second option is the jerk option. So you can choose, you know, what type of hero you want to be. Do you want to be a good hero, or do you want to be a villain type of hero? And there's not just the monarch, there's priest, there's wizard, bard, you know, there's different ones. And all the quests that are available within an ambition is not all of them can be achieved by all the heroes. Some of them are particular to a hero, so the monarch can only do certain quests, the wizards can only do certain quests, which is nice because then you get to, you know, to experience all of your heroes, which is what you want. So back to the kingdom, basically, it's not, you know, really open world. You can't just put a lot down like in The Sims 3 and erect a building. It's really just very, very static. You can't touch that. You can, you know, walk around the kingdom and all that. That's my main problem with that is it's just, it really takes away from adventuring, I guess, and exploring that is present in an old Sims game. And I kind of, because it was medieval and trying to be a little bit RPG-like, I thought for sure that would be like that. But it's not. I'm finding everything is really cut into sections. For example, when I go into the forest to go on an adventure or hunt a bear or something, you don't even see anything happening. It's just your little person goes into the forest and disappears for a bit. It's rabbit hole. And then the same with, you know, go into the cave to find this monster or whatever. You disappear into a rabbit hole. The village shop is also like that. I expect to go into the village and, you know, see buildings and all that. I mean, it doesn't have to be all that elaborate, but, you know, at least like going to the market in Sims 3, you actually watch your sim go into the market. You don't see inside that there's an actual building there. In the village shop, you just see your sim go into a path and disappear into nothing. There's nothing. And then the village is like way into the distance in like, you know, among some trees. It's like part of the landscape, which looks very flat in some certain areas. It's very, the feel of the game is very like reading a pop-up book. I guess is what I would compare it to. And yeah, so that's that. What else? The character creation is pretty good. That's actually one of my favorite parts of the game. And there's a few things that we're taking out, like makeup, obviously, because it's medieval times. The outfits are pretty limited, but I think that's because there are outfits available only to certain types of heroes. So of course, the monarchs can have all the fancy robes, and they're gonna have, and the wizards can have the witch hat and, you know, the wizardy robes, and same with the priests and all that. So what is available to everybody are certain, you know, I think there's 1 or 2 outfits that are available to everyone. And the special bonus items that you get from pre-ordering, those things are available to all your sim characters, your sim heroes. There is no aging in Sim, because basically the game is made with an end in time. It's not like you can play The Sims Medieval forever and ever and have genealogies. It's very much about your current heroes, and that's it. They can have kids and all that. I'm not far enough in the game where I can tell you whether they age or not. I don't think so. Well, they probably go from baby to toddler to kid. Apart from that, I'm not sure if they go through adulthood. Since there's no aging, I don't believe that they die either. So, which is one thing, my big gripe about this game is that eventually it does have an end. Once you're through all the ambitions and all the quests, that's it. You can play the game again with the same kingdom I guess, and choose different options when I, was telling you about those dialogues that pop up. I guess if you were good before, you can try to be evil now, see what happens. But, I find that there's a severe lack of freedom, basically, in trying to make this very quest-driven and all that. They've really butchered the Sims aspect of the game, which was what I find the most charming about The Sims 3. I can talk about older Sims games because I haven't really played it. The others that I've played was Sims 2 on the PlayStation Portable, and that's actually very similar to The Sims Medieval, but it's actually, I thought, more enjoyable because it is less restricted than, it is a lot more freeform than Sims Medieval, even though it's all quest-driven, and that's actually what I expected Sims Medieval to be, is to be able to sort of walk around and be your own person, but having these quests as well to have to accomplish, but not. Sims Medieval is just very, very rigid in how you need to do things. And if you try to just, be a sim creator and all that, it's just, you're gonna find that you're basically fighting against restraints. That's what it feels like. It's like you're in a confined box and you're trying to get out. But if you play by the rules and you play how the game wants you to play, then all of a sudden it becomes a bit more enjoyable, I guess. And that's what I found. I've stopped trying to play the way I play Sims 3 and, get in my head into playing by the quests and all that, and getting everything that's required of me. And it's a bit more fun. The more heroes that I have, the more that my kingdom grows and becomes, a bit bigger. I find that the game is a bit more enjoyable. It is certainly very pretty. It is not very demanding. So, I mean, I run this on my computer very well. I had troubles with Sims 3. And sometimes Sims 3 still randomly crashes on me. Well, I haven't had a single bug or crash happen with Sims Medieval at all. So it is, in that way, very, very good. Technically speaking, the game is very well done. It's very well made. However, I find that the fun factor is pretty mediocre. And that's basically my final thought on it. I'm not really sure I'm going to be playing Sims Medieval for a long amount of time. Not like Sims 3, where I'm pretty sure I'm going to play that until Sims 4 comes out and or new. I'm really disappointed that it wasn't exactly what I figured it would be, what I thought it would be. I think there's a lot of people who feel that way. If you're having fun with the game, awesome. I'm not saying it's a bad game by any measure. However, if you are expecting a sandbox experience, that is not what you're getting. It is also not exactly an RPG either. It's a game. I'm not really sure how else to put it. It's an adventure game, I guess. It's a role-playing game, yeah, I guess you get to make your character and all that, but it is not what you would expect in a story-driven, RPG. It's basically trying to be both a sim and a quest-driven game, and it's sort of not meeting either of those things. It's sort of its own thing, I guess is how you should take it. What else can I tell you about The Sims Medieval? There's a lot of new animations, a lot of different things, like you can now breastfeed, you can now kill people, you can now what's the other things? You can serenade your love interest. I mean, there's a lot of really funny, really quirky additions to the game, and there is a lot of humor. So in that sense, it is a joy to play in that sense. However, I found again the lack of freedom to be far too restricting for a sim game. So with that in mind, if you can keep that in mind, that it's, you have to follow certain paths and all that, you may find a lot of enjoyment out of Sims Medieval. Okay, so thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time on Game Dames. Bye.